Ride with me, episode 1, part 2. Let's get it. For one, the song is done. I finished it quite a while ago. Right. So, we're gonna revise. We're gonna revise. Remember, I wrote the chorus first, right? I wrote the chorus first, and we had 4-line chorus followed by 3-3 chorus, right? So, yeah, just be my thought process writing the verse from the chorus, because when I start from the chorus, now I have to use the chorus to inform what the verses are going to be and sound like, right? So here I wrote a note of the chorus sounds desperate. I need to be able to justify that desperate plea of hold me please in your arms. So in other words, I asked what's causing me or the narrator, we're just gonna say what's causing the narrator to feel that desperate so that the chorus can be justified and land. So since the chorus is almost always the biggest point of most songs, the chorus almost always has to be justified by the verse or the pre-chorus so that the chorus can land. Because if it's not justified, then it just falls flat or it just comes out of nowhere. And sometimes that may work, sometimes they may not work. In songwriting, there is never a tip that is fully 100% applicable or fully 100% not applicable. Why? Because there is always advice that would 100% work, and there's always advice that would, there's always good advice that has 100% worked, and there's quote unquote don't do this or don't do that, and the artist who did that thing that they were apparently not supposed to do, the song became major successful. So never in songwriting is there a tip that is 100% applicable or 100% not applicable. There's just, rule of thumbs, rather do's, rather don'ts, in general, stuff like that. So I was actually stuck after I wrote the chorus. I was like, okay, now what? I don't know. But I wrote here, when stuck, asking questions, reveal lyrics. Also await life events. Yeah, await life events. So the life event that happened was I was walking alone at night, and this verse came out to me. Actually, it was a pre-chorus at the time. So I was aware that I had already written the main chorus, and my mind was searching for the next thing to write, the next section to write. And that became the pre-chorus, right? And the way that I came up with the pre-chorus, as I just said, I was walking alone, right? And I wrote, I'm living this life all by myself with nobody beside me. I'm tall, I'm taking all my pain. I got no one else, just bodies being around me, right? That goes to the idea of you do have people around you. You do have people technically beside you, but regardless of the bodies around you, you still feel isolated. And that's where the idea is birthed, right? Very simple stuff. Now, I've justified the desperation. All these 4 lines build the desperation. It builds desperation for that big chorus to land, because the chorus sounds desperate. So we need to build desperation using the pre-chorus to make sure that the chorus is justified, right? I need more content. I need more stuff to write the verses, right? I've written the pre-chorus. I've written the chorus. I need content to write the verses. And this is where people can, you can I don't know, just leave it there. But questions, right? Questions. You know, so I ask, with the pre-chorus plus the chorus in mind, where was I when I felt this way? Like, where was I when I felt all that desperation and all that emotions? Like, where was I? Where was the narrator? And what was happening? Yeah, what was happening? Where was I? What was happening? What was I doing? What did that situation look like? And I mean that by like, what did that situation look like on the ground? You know, like what was actually happening, you know? And two instances came into my mind. The first one was, well, I was driving at night. Oh, walking at night, driving at night. Oh my goodness. You can just picture how my life is at this point. Yeah, yeah, I was driving at night with no music playing. So that's personal context. It's personal context to me because I know that when I'm upset or when I'm going through, dealing through stuff, I drive at night. Well, I don't drive at night, but I walk in silence. I sit in silence. I drive in silence. I don't listen to any music when I'm going through shit. Ironically, right? I like silence. So that's personal context. And we can't put personal context in the song because, well, we're not aiming for a hit. Well, I'm not aiming for it to be like a hit single or whatnot. It's an album song. An album song builds into the next album song. It's part of a project, meaning like I don't really expect this to do crazy numbers. I'm not really doing that. I'm putting personal context to build a story, to create depth in my work. So that's why I can input more personal context. Right. So that actually informed the verse. So I did turn the keys in the car when I drive. I mean, how else are you going to start the car? Right. So I turn the keys in the car when I drive. I drive into the late night. True. You see, it's not something magical. I'm just describing what I was doing. I turned the keys. I drove into the late night. It was late at night. I drove into the night. Play no music. I listened to my thoughts. Play no music. I listened to my thoughts. Well, yeah. As I explained, I do not listen to any music when I'm going through it, right? So I listen to my thoughts like a prison in my mind, right? All of this is stream of consciousness. So I turn the keys in the car when I drive. And this could be any line. This could be any line. So for you, it's like if you have a line written down, you can just say, what happened next? Well, what happened next? Or clarify what happened. So what happened next? What happened after I turned the keys in the car when I drive? Well, I drove into the late night, but I don't say it like that for stylistic purposes. I say I drive into the late night because in songwriting, most of the lines are statements. Most of the lines are, punches. It's not a sentence. It's not a paragraph and a sentence in. And this happened and that happened. No. It's like a description of what happened mixed in a punchline, right? So I further describe play no music. I listen to my thoughts, right? So now the question is, what are the thoughts saying? Because I listen to my thoughts like a prison in my mind. That's a simile. Yeah, got taught that in English. So what are the thoughts saying? Well, I think that I'm losing you slowly. Well, the you in this context is the you built up in that context, right? Whoever that person is. So yeah, we don't need to over explain, even if it's a song where we're not trying to hyper shorten everything. We still don't need to over explain every line, right? What did I say here? I remember how we used to fill the space. How so prompts an explanation. Okay, so now a you is brought into the picture in the verse, and then that gets me thinking, okay, what about X? I'll just say X. What about X? That's that we need to know. What was the context here? Well, I remember how we used to fill the space when everything flowed oh so easily. So when everything flowed so easily, so things aren't flowing easily now. So every time, so if you say like a statement, if you say a statement that points to a negation, you don't have to say, well, now nothing is flowing anymore, blah, 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 over explain that. No, you can just say, what I remember when things flowed so easily, and that automatically, that automatically reveals that things are not okay. So when I remember when things were okay, that automatically says things are not okay. Well, I remember when we were happy. Well, that implies that we're not happy anymore. I remember when things were just fine. You know, it implies the latter, it implies the opposite without over explaining. And we don't want to over explain in songwriting, right? And there was nothing in between us. Oh, so now there is something between us. You see, it's getting the listener to think by themselves, okay, where is this going? There's obviously something wrong. So now that there's obviously something wrong, where does that lead us? It leads us back to the pre-chorus, right? So now I can just write. So now that, okay, now they're thinking, okay, now there's obviously something wrong. And that word now is very important because, well, what's going on now? Well, now this is what's going on. So I'm gonna write this now. I'm gonna write this here. And actually include that. Did I include it over here? I think I did. Yeah, you see that now. You see exactly. The verse builds into the pre-chorus, which builds into the chorus. I'd hold me please in your arms. So even if I read it, it sounds like it sounds like it's building. So I'll take it from here. When everything flowed oh so easily and there was nothing in between us, now I'm living this life all by myself with nobody beside me. I'm oh my gosh, I'm taking all my pain. I got no one else, just bodies around me, just bodies being around me. Why am I so bad at reading? And then hold me please in your arms. Remind me how a heart beats. Let me please feel your touch. Show me how your love is. And then why? I already answered this in the previous video, but why? Why? Well, because now I'm starting to forget. I didn't say now, stylistic, because I'm starting to forget how it was when we began. It didn't feel so lonely. I need you to be here. Don't talk from over there. Please come here and hold me. Aww, that's so sweet. Actually, this song is like a girl wrote it. Like these lyrics are female. They're feminine. It's not how I write, but it's how I'm writing for this project. So now we got verse 2. We've started verse 1 thinking about a situation where I'm driving alone. And the pre-chorus is a situation where I'm walking by myself. So there's two situations where I'm walking by myself or just being by myself in general. So we can't overuse a situation. Otherwise, the song doesn't build. The song always has to build. So now we have to think about another situation where the narrator felt the emotions described in the chorus and the pre-chorus without overusing the same situation. And we also have to do that by, well, we also have to do that not making it sound like a new song entirely, while also not making it sound like a new song entirely. Because you do run into problems where it's like you're writing verse one, it goes well, you write the pre-chorus, it goes well, you write the chorus. Even at the chorus, you're like, wait a minute, this sounds like two different songs, it doesn't mix well. And then maybe if chorus went well, you get to verse two and you sound like, these sound like two different songs. Like, what's going on here? Sound like two different songs. So how I like to counteract that, well, I won't say how I like to counteract that because I haven't invented anything. I'm just reusing things that I've learned, that I've seen artists do, that have worked for them, it's worked for their music. I've learned from songwriters. So I'm just reusing what I've been taught, right? And it's this right here. Writing the verse on top of the previous verse and making that flow almost the same. Pause, but pause there. We haven't clarified the situation that we're going to use for the second verse. So pre-chorus alone, verse 1 alone. Verse 2 will be with the you. This that showed up in verse 1. So the person, right? In this case, in the story of the song, the girl. Right. Now we're introducing a character. And now that we're introducing a character, we're going to also interweave the theme of what we're talking about in verse 1, pre-chorus, the chorus, into this situation to see how it plays out. Right. So let's do that. And let's make the verse not sound like a completely different song. Verse 1 reads, I know how it sounds like. I'm just reading it. When it's released, you'll hear how it sounds like. Well, if it's released already, you can hear how it sounds like. I turn the keys in the car, then I drive, right? You can hear how that sounds. Is this how we will be every time? Now, that's not a second line. That's the first line of the first. That's the first line of verse 2, and this is the first line of verse 1. So I want to make the first line of verse 1 sound exactly the same as the first line of verse 2, like the flow and the word structure and maybe the rhyme sometimes. But like I want them to sound the same because now we're coming back into the verse. It creates that effect of we went to the pre-chorus, we went to the chorus, and now we're coming back into the verse. And now the audience can hear the difference, right? And then I drive into the late night. Is this what we'll call a normal life? See, kind of the same. But I only did that for the first two lines. I kind of let the other lines do what they wanted because I didn't want to make it mirror image, splitting image the same. If it's like, if you're writing for a pop hit or you're trying to make a pop hit, you'd make it shamelessly sound the same. Shamelessly. For repetition, right? It would be a little annoying, but shamelessly do it. But this is not that kind of song. It's an album song. So so let's go into my brains. The brains. So is this how we will live? Well, is this how we will be every time? Is this how we will call a normal life? Okay. So what? So what? We can't pretend, right? If we can't pretend like we're gonna be all right. Why? See, why? And I put this question here because I was stuck. Every time I'm stuck, I put a question like, okay, I'm stuck and I have to answer, okay, we can't pretend that we will be all right. Why can't we? Because, because what? I've realized that we're running out of time. Well, why? And why is that? You know, why is that? Why is that I feel that way? Well, cause there's this wall that's building up between us. Okay, what's the wall doing? Well, the wall is breaking us down and pulling us apart. Yeah, it is. So, like, how so? I should ask. I wrote it. I had this in my head. I did ask. Oh my gosh, this pen. This is my fourth pen. Gosh. Oh damn, it's dead. Pen is finished. We're using a pencil now. So breaking us down and pulling us apart. How so? How so? How? You can't make statements and not be able to justify them. And I justified my statement. I asked you how you feel, but you don't keep it real. But I'll tell you how I feel. I feel alone again. Now, you don't really come up with that. You just kind of say it, really. Because most of everything is really going to come from you. Like, most of everything is really just going to come from you. You answering your own questions. You having the context of your own situation. Like, answer the questions. Like, say what's on your mind. After all, a lot of people consider songwriting to be a therapy session. For me, it's not a therapy session, it's a mirror. It shows what's hidden or maybe not hidden. It's just a mirror of words. Say what's on your mind. So if I'm reading this, I'm not even singing it. I'm reading it. It's like, is this how it will be every time? Is this what we'll call a normal life? Like, we can't pretend that we'll be all right. Like, I've realized that, well, because I've realized that we're running out of time. And why is that? Well, because there's this wall that's building up between us. And what it's doing is it's breaking us down, it's pulling us apart. Like, I'll ask you how you feel. But like, you dodge the question, or you just say something to make it um you just say something to dismiss the question, so you don't keep it real. I ask you how you feel, you don't keep it real, but I'll tell you how I feel. And now we're bringing in the context of the whole song, the pre-chorus, the chorus, everything said in the previous verse as well. But I'll tell you how I feel. I feel alone again. See, now, is that me trying to be clever, trying to come up with some fancy lyrics? No, it's just me answering questions, saying what's on my mind. And that becomes a verse. But there's a technique to it. There's a way you gotta do it. There's a way that you gotta deliver the lines. Because like, if I'm gonna say the last four lines, that's not how you speak in real life. You don't go like, I ask you how you feel, but you don't keep it real. But I'll tell you how I feel. I feel alone again. No, you don't say that in real life. In real life, this is a perfect example. In real life, you say, well, I'll ask you how you feel. But the thing is, you kind of dismiss it. Like, you're not telling the truth. So we take that you dismiss it, you're not telling the truth, and we describe what that line is. And that line is, you don't keep it real. And that becomes a line. And then the next line, But I'll tell you how I feel. I feel alone again. No, you don't say that in real life. No, you kind of say something like, but after they'll say their part, I'm fine, I'm alright. But after that, you'll be the one telling the truth and be like, you know what? I'm starting to feel alone. Yeah. And then we take that line and we label it. We label it with a line. We describe it and label it. And that line becomes, I feel alone again. And that becomes the lyric. So it's not that we're going to talk the way we write or write the way we talk. But what's on our minds as we're writing, that's going to inform what we're putting down. So the skill becomes, how do I label what I just said and describe it? How do I label and describe, or how do I describe and label and make it a line? And that's what songwriting essentially is. And then from there, quite simple, what happens after, but I'll tell you how I feel. I feel alone again. Now we go to the consequence. Well, now I'm living this life all by myself with nobody, blah, 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 blah. And then chorus, blah, 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 blah. Now we've used questions to inform each section. And now that we've informed each section, we have a complete and whole story. And that's the end of the song, right? And because it's an album song, this song, the same way the sections informed each other, the song itself informs the next song. Like, where do I go from now I feel alone again? Where do I go from there? Now you ask yourself, like, where do I go from there? Where do we go from here? So, from here, and here is feeling alone again, right? Now I start thinking back to previous encounters where I wouldn't say things better. No. That's an overstatement. But you now experience what it's like to taste how the other side feels. When in another part, you were the villain, you were the person making that person feel alone, and now start to feel guilty. And how I made that connection from that to here, that informs the next song. So the next song is guilt. But now that's all I have to the song. I only have guilt to the song. But you can see how I got to it. So yeah. Actually, what's a live songwriting session without live songwriting lyrics, right? So the previous song, Hold Me Please, and I said this one is guilt. So I'm gonna come up with the first. We're just gonna do 4 or 5 lines, and then we're gonna end the video. But I just wanna start the next one really quickly. Let me pull out these Actually, I have it on my computer. What the fuck? I should just get it off my computer. All right. All right. So like in my head, I already decide, okay, I'm gonna write about guilt. Because now I'm tasting it now. Now it's my turn to taste it from the other person, right? So now I'm thinking about the previous person who I was the villain. But now I finally get it. So as the narrator, I'm going to write towards that person whom I was the villain to. Right. So let's get it. These lyrics are going to sound so feminine, but nonetheless, and I hate writing with this, like my pens just died, all four of them, one after the other. Even this one just died. It just, dude, this one as well. What else? I actually put up a nice set, but I'm still relapsing into using my hand. I found the love in another life. No. I found no, what the fuck am I doing? What? I was tweaking. All right, that's the lie. I found my love in another life, but now we're gonna remember that guilt I was talking about. And what are we talking about? I found my love in another life, but this guilt I have of you, it won't let me be. I found my love in another life. Which life? This one, the one that I talked about in the previous one, right? This was the previous song. Now we're referring to the previous song, the first line. And then the subject of this song in the next line. I'm stuck. But this guilt I have of you won't let me be. Why? Why won't it let me be? Well, because you are still haunting my mind. Like, oh yeah, that's right. After all, I don't know if it's your or you, but yes. After all, I say life and mind, and then we'll cancel this. After all, you still haunt my mind. Point is like, just going off of these three lines. At this point, it's like, sometimes you have to ask yourself how you feel about the lines you put down. Like at this point, it's like, just let me go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we live and we learn, right? You know, we live and we learn. So why does a specific situation always have to like just be a monkey on your back like the whole time? Like, oh, it's just standing there, it's just standing, just doesn't want to let you go. Like, I learned, like I paid for my sins. Like there we go. Yeah, I done paid for all my sins, so just let me go. I don't want to see you. Like, I dream about this I see this person when I sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you in my dreams again. Actually, it'll work better. It'll work better if it's if I'm talking about her. Yeah, I don't. What? How am I? I'm not like, this is why I don't like writing with the phone. I don't want it to see. I don't want to. Oh my gosh. I don't want to see her in my dreams again. How, like, you know when you say the word and you don't write it down, it just makes you look like an idiot. So I paid for all my sins, so just let me go. That sounds so natural. I would say, like, I did say that. I did say, yeah, I would say it like that. I paid for all my sins, so just let me the fuck go. I wouldn't say the fuck, but just let me go. I don't want to see you. I said, I don't want to see you in my dreams again. I don't want to see her in my dreams again. Like, what's it gonna take, man? Like, just to get this person out of my fucking head. Actually, yeah. What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take? I actually want to rip. You see this? You see this line over here? So just let me go. What's it gonna take? Let me be. So just let me be. So just let me be. Wait. I don't like this so and so over here. So I'll leave that so over there and I'll put a please over here. Please just let me go be. Am I writing it correctly? Please just let. You see? I did it again. See, please just let me be. And then we're gonna bring this over here again. This will be like a sort of chorus thing. I don't want to see her dreams. No, we'll put sleep this time. Yeah, this is all we'll do for today. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Why is it 7? I'm asking why there's 7 because usually it's 4 lines. And then if there's a 3 line, if there's 3 lines, then this will be the 3 lines. And this will be the 4 lines. So this will be 4 and this will be 3. No, the math is not mathing. So, actually, this could be, okay, I found my love in another life, 1. But this guilt I have of you, pause, that will be 2. It won't let me be 3. So that's 3 lines. After all, you still haunt my mind. That would be 1. Well, there will be 4, I mean, but 1. I paid for all my sins. That'll be 2. 5, I mean, but you know, 2. And then 6. Actually, 3, but 6. 3, but 6. So this will be 6 line. This is a 6 line. I don't want her in my dreams. I don't want to see her. Okay, that will be 1. In my dreams, 2. What's it gonna take? 1. Please just let me be 2. I don't want to see her. 1. In my dreams, 2. So I'm just gonna rewrite this all. Right. So that's 3, 3, 3, 3. 2 pairs of 6s. So yeah, we wrote 12 lines of the next song. And I changed the so to a won't you. Where is it? Won't you? And I kept it a please there. That's about it. It's like 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. I've done no warm-ups and my voice is tired, so yeah. I found my love in another life, but this guilt I have of you, it won't let me be. After all, you still haunt my mind, but I paid for all my sins. Won't you let me go? I don't wanna see her in my dreams again. What's it gonna take? Please just let me be. I don't wanna see her in my dreams, in my sleep again. Unrehearsed singing. I don't wanna see her in my sleep again. Yeah, we'll keep it at, yeah, you have to rehearse these things. You can't just sing them perfectly on the first go. But yeah, obviously, from here, I think this is another chorus. Meaning I'm gonna have to do the same shit I did for the previous. Oh, dude, I'm tired. It sounds like a chorus to me. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to ask myself some questions, get a pre-chorus, ask myself some more questions, get a verse 1 and 2 in a bridge, and then that'll be the song done. So, we do the same process that I did for the previous song with this song all over again. It's 2 a.m., man. I should be sleeping.